We had a shooting here in Atlanta last week. The gentleman was, and I use the term gentleman loosely, a Coast Guard veteran who was discharged in January. His mother was with him in a doctor's office where he couldn't get Ativan, an anxiety medication he was seeking that the VA had declined for him. He didn't need an AK-47, unfortunately. He pulled a handgun from on his person, shot and killed one woman, and seriously critically injured 4 others before fleeing on foot. Thanks to some technology enhancements and upgrades, license plate reading cameras and other technologies, he was in custody within 8 hours without incident and without use of deadly force. But because these crimes are real, as are crimes of violence all over the United States, particularly in urban areas, Americans still feel a need to protect themselves. So close the loophole on private gun shows. Take all the steps and measures you just laid out, including some basic requirements for gun training, and I think you will see change. But every time we have this discussion, we talk about banning assault weapons, high caliber or high ammunition rifles and handguns, and millions of those are owned by completely law-abiding citizens across the United States who purchased them legally and believe if you pass that law, there'll be confiscation.
There's so much to unpack here when we talk about the Second Amendment in the United States. We are a country that's obsessed with gun ownership because it's baked into our Constitution. And look, I believe there are many responsible gun owners across the country that don't need to suffer the consequences of a few bad actors. But we are in a moment where it's not even a moment anymore. We've been suffering under this epidemic of gun violence for years now. Firearms is the #1 cause of death for children. I'm somebody that grew up in a rural area, West Virginia, where hunting was beloved. I know that there are good people out there who believe in their right to protect themselves, protect their property. That's a very American feeling. But when we see what's happening here with these automatic military-style firearms, which are primarily designed for rapid fire and combat use, these are the ones being linked to some of the deadliest mass shootings in the U.S. just in the past decade. I think we need to have a reasonable, practical discussion, not just with federal level lawmakers, but with state level lawmakers. To date, only 10 states have laws restricting assault weapons. Now, this shooting at a Texas mall, if this individual did not have that assault style firearm, could he have done what he did? Extinguish the lives of these 8 or 9 people, and I'm sorry, I don't even know the number. This is so disgusting that week after week we have to learn of a new city and learn more numbers of lives lost senselessly because madmen are taking up firearms because they believe it's their right to go out there and get rid of whoever they want. So our lawmakers, of course, at the federal level, the Republicans don't want to act because they want to stand up for these responsible gun owners. And again, they want to hide behind the Second Amendment. And to that I say, I don't think the founding fathers ever wanted these type of weapons in the hands of the regular everyday citizen. There's a big difference being able to protect yourself, your family, and your property, and having access to a weapon that can eliminate multiple lives in sheer seconds. So I look forward to the day that Republicans will find their conscience and their courage to act, because millennials like me, Gen Z, we are furious. It's systemic problems that keep these incumbents in office and make it possible for them to not act when tragedy after tragedy happens every few days here in these United States related to guns.